Today's adventure takes us to Will County and to Lockport, Illinois. And I am standing in Lockport Cemetery. This cemetery is an amazing cemetery. Has almost 5,000 graves here, still active. But the amazing thing is, it goes back to the 1820s. And there are a lot of historical figures in the area. Now, Lockport's known for the I&M Canal, the Illinois and Michigan Canal. It was built right through Lockport. The railroad was built right through Lockport, so it was a great area for commerce, a great area for pioneers to come. And there are a lot of these pioneers in this cemetery today, and we're going to go find their graves. So come with me as we explore Lockport Cemetery. All right, here we are on a beautiful summer morning here in the Chicago area, Lockport, Illinois specifically, as we enter this wonderful old cemetery. And right away, I see a marker that has a name on it that I believe is a familiar name in this area, and that's Gaylord. George Gaylord to be specific. 1820 to 1883. So who was George Gaylord? Look at this large obelisk. So George Gaylord was a local merchant. And the I&M Canal went through Lockport. Now I'll touch on that a little bit more later. But he capitalized on the canal's potential and negotiated exclusive rights to the water power of the canal. He also owned a mill and general store. And his building still stands today. He is definitely a pioneer in this area and one of the first settlers of Lockport. And this is where George is buried. And behind George's monument here, we see Lull, L-U-L-L. Now, I don't know if this is any relation to George, because if you could see, this is all seems to be in the same family plot, unless this was just the location of the original cemetery. It's hard to see what the name is, first name is on there. And then next to it we see a base, no tombstone, and then a couple of old broken tombstones. Here's a step here. I wonder if there's a name on the step. No, if there is, it is gone. Let's go over here, and you can see another plot with curbing here, and the tree actually got so big it upended the curbing. Man, these are some old markers. Looks like Martin's the name on that one. I do see something down here. Something, not sure what it says. Louis Sayers, PhD, educator. And we have Luis Hawley here. And this is interesting. Two small crypts, probably representing children, and you can't see what the inscription is anymore because that is been long worn off. Speaking of Smith, we have a beautiful classic Smith mausoleum. It almost looks like a bank. I don't know the name of the person buried in there, the first name I should say. The last name I assume is Smith, which would be a pretty good assumption. Very nice building. And as As we move next to the Smith Mausoleum, we see the Fidiment Monument. Nice tall 15-foot monument. I think you can see up on the top there, it looks to be an anchor. And John Fidiment is the name on here. And it looks like January 16th, 18, I don't know what that date is, something 1. But this monument obviously worn. And here's Sophia, his wife, died February 2nd, 1888. And you may hear aircraft overhead as we are on the path to Chicago's Midway Airport, which is probably about 20 miles down the road. Sarah Fidiment, looks like 1860 she died. You know, before the Civil War even started. Never even knew what the Civil War was. Another beautiful old monument. Robinson appears to be the name on this one. Let's see if we can get any more detail. You can see the Robinson name up there. And not seeing anything as you hear the church bells. There's beautiful churches here in Lockport, beautiful old churches. There we go. C.C. Robinson, it looks like. Hard to tell when they died. Very difficult to tell on some of these things. Looks like there used to be a family plot here. There's an entranceway to a family plot, but all that remains beyond this is a slab on the ground here, and that's it. I don't see any names or other identifying marks. Interesting. And we do see some more modern tombstones and markers in here with the older ones. Beautiful old tombstone here. Can't really make out the name on that one. Let me see if I get my flashlight. I don't know if that will help in this case, but we could try it. It won't hurt. Looks like a J. Maybe Joseph. Not sure. That one's really worn. This looks like the Weeping Willow. Very common back then amongst the tombstones, the older tombstones. Nice classic old, one of my favorite types of tombstones. And let's go over here, as this caught my eye. Old statue. Now, I believe, looking at this statue was probably on the top of the Norton Stone. And the Norton Stone is Norton is another famous area resident. You can see the head has come off, the arm is long gone. As we walk over to the Norton Stone, I have some information here on Norton. Hiram Norton. As you can see the sickle, the cross, and the wreath. We got Charles Hiram, son of L.D. and M.E. Norton, died in 1875, only 9 months old for little Charles. As we listen to the bells in the background, hopefully you can hear that. I don't see any other markings on this. Oh, there is up here, but it's very, very faint. So Hiram Norton, he was born in 1799 in New York. Unfortunately, he was orphaned at a young age, but he became a businessman and a partner in the stagecoach line between Montreal and and Toronto. He eventually moved to Lockport, Illinois, where he became involved in the hydraulic cement manufacturing along the I&M Canal route. And the I&M Canal, Illinois and Michigan Canal, is what put Lockport on the map, really. And I'll get to more of that later. He built a grain warehouse, constructed a flour mill that became the largest milling operation in Illinois. And Hiram died in 1875. And there's more there, a little hard to see. Looks like 1777 to, it's hard to see that date. I could be completely wrong. So another prominent figure in this area. As we see here, Mary's the name there. I can't make out the last name as this has fallen, unfortunately. And then we have a large slab of cement with, there are some identifying marks on here. Oh man, I don't think I'll be able to, let me see if I can. JS SHATTUK, Shattuck. Nice. Okay, as we continue our walk through the cemetery, I didn't realize just how big this cemetery was. You can barely see end to end. Look at this nice little infant or child grave. It says, "Our Charlie's grave." So Charlie here, headstone has long fallen as it's sunk into the ground. Be nice if that can get uprighted so little Charlie can be remembered. There's several more on this side. Forgive my shadow. That one's unreadable. Oh, and here's William, the son of W.A. and D.L. Gooding, age 2 years, 7 days. Here's William August Gooding. And then probably his wife here. Hard to tell, but behind me is the Gooding Monument. You might be able to see it here. Very tall, nice monument. And here's William Gooding. So this is another prominent figure in this area. Actually, very prominent figure in this area. William Gooding, he was born 1803 in Bristol, New York. In 1826, he went over to Canada there, and became an apprentice under a man named Alfred Barrett to build the Welland Canal in Canada. And there's A.M. Gooding, that would be his wife. His wife, Anne Marie, who he married in 1832. Now, he eventually returned to New York, where he was born, and worked as an engineer on the Wabash and Erie Canal. Then at some point in 1833, he and his wife and his son, Edward, came to Lockport, Illinois. And here's his grave here. I don't know where his son is buried, but he came to Lockport, Illinois in 1836. He became a chief engineer of the Illinois and Michigan Canal. The problem was the project encountered many difficulties. He pretty much ran out of money. And they were paying contractors in promissory notes, and eventually the project came to a halt. At some point, the project did find some money and was refunded, and finished up in 1848. William then became the trustee on the I&M Canal Board until 1871, and then he eventually died in 1878. So a little bit about the I&M Canal. So the Illinois and Michigan Canal was the waterway that connected the Great Lakes to the Mississippi River. There was no way to get from the Great Lakes to the Mississippi River at the time. So the I&M Canal was constructed. It went from Lake Michigan all the way to the Mississippi River, and that is across the entire state of Illinois. Very ambitious project. It was completed, and that is added to the popularity of Chicago. Chicago sits right there where on Lake Michigan and where the I&M Canal starts. Here's George. He died 1856, and William Taylor died 1900. And you can just see the difference between the quality of the script. George is faded away, and then 1900, Williams you could see rather well, as that was done 44 years later. See how good I am at math? Here's Louisa, born 1835, died in 1911, and Mary Mess Arnold, 18, it's hard to tell, to 19 something, 19 teens, something like that. Okay, we got another smaller mausoleum. We see steps going up to it. Singer is the name, S-I-N-G-E-R. And we do have some writing on this one. Let's see if we could see what it says. Turn on my light here, as it's pretty hard to read. Horace is the name, M. Singer. Born October, looks like 1st, 1823, died December 28th, 1896. And that's the only inscription on here, as that looks like a large marble door, which hasn't been opened in some time. And we see Horace's marker right here. I don't know who else is in there with Horace. Well, here we go. We have finally come across, and I was wondering when I would see one in here, our first Civil War tombstone. E.J. Bartow, Company A, 113th Illinois Infantry Unit. Thank you for your service, sir. I'm going to take a long walk back here and see what's back here. Happy I put on my running shoes today. We got some old ones back here. Old ones back here. We got Mary, wife of William Prindle, it looks like the name. Hard to see when she died. 1906 maybe? Hard to tell. Here's William Pringle. Pringle, I believe, is the name. But man, I mean, this is one of the older cemeteries in northeastern Illinois. It goes back to about 1820s. Mary is a name here. We're not going to be able to decipher that. Wife of somebody. That's just amazing that that stone still stands like that. That's about a 5 foot tall stone. Very nice. Okay. I see T-A-M-E, Tamerlane. Died 1851. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Here's William here. Looks like he died 1853. Wow, are those old? That's incredible. Didn't even know who Abraham Lincoln was. Look at this, guys. J.A. Ledgler died 1858, age 22 years old. That was a long, long time ago. Wow. And this one, straight away, has caught my eye. As with most of these, the finial at the top is broken. See if I can read this one. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to read this one. I see died May something. I don't know. Something son. Whole son. Looks like age maybe 84. Very old. What a beautiful monument, though. Look at that. Just beautiful. Still in great shape. Some more markings there. I see Andrew, what appears to be Andrew there. Just wonderful, though. And I'm going to go back here. And look at some of these. The ground is very uneven. There are definitely sunken graves here. I need to be careful where I'm walking so as not to twist my ankle. Don't want to do that. Look at these. Wow. Abraham. I see Abraham here. Abraham. Hard to tell what that name is. He died. Wow, that looks like 1816 or 1846. But wow, that is very old. I'm inclined to believe it's 1846. And wow, this is his wife. Another very old one, very hard to read. But right behind this is a series of, I don't know if I've ever seen tombstones like this. These are incredible. How is this one still standing? It's not that thick. Absolutely incredible, guys. John looks to be the name on that one, but these are old. These are really old. Joel, I see there. Is that Diz or Biz? Dizza? I mean, these are just so old. Jane, it's like daughter, wife of F.G. Satins. That's hard to. Sattions. That's hard to tell. Looks like 1850 something there. And unfortunately, it looks like 3 of her children passed away as well. That's so sad. Incredible. I mean, this is probably one of the nicest old family plots I have seen. All tombstones are intact and the designs are just wonderful. You don't see this like this without damage. I mean, that's incredible. Some more incredible old tombstones here, and it looks like they've put modern plaques on here so we can see what's going on. We have a Revolutionary War soldier, folks. Revolutionary War soldier, Ebenezer Collins, private, born 1762, died 1845. That is awesome. And his wife Anne, I assume that's his wife. Yeah, it says right there, wife of Revolutionary Patriot, 1768 to 1839. That's I'm speechless. How cool is that? And let's look behind him. There's a couple more old ones back here. I see Sisson, and I see Brunson, and I see War of 1812 veteran here. We have Captain Holder Sisson, died 1878, aged 87 years old. That is awesome. I never thought I'd find all this stuff in the cemetery today. We have Cyrus Brunson, 1789 to 1857, and War of 1812 right there. 2 War of 1812 veterans right next to each other. That is just awesome. Wow, guys, this is an incredible cemetery. Now, I've heard that this cemetery was pretty rich in history. I didn't realize it was this big, for one, and two, that it was this rich in history. An incredible place. Highly recommended if you're out near the Lockport area. What a wonderful cemetery. Thank you very much for joining me today, as always. And until next time, you know it, keep exploring.